Mushroom cloud, mushroom cloud. Probably gonna say I'm too lazy to get a video on a mushroom cloud. But hey, this is Nightmare logging on. And today we're going to talk about the big news about what's changing in March. Now, a lot of people are panicking. Yesterday there was a leak, and today the news was confirmed that there are going to be a lot of changes. Now, I'm going to give you warning advance. If you're a Scarlet Witch fan, you're not going to like a lot of this. But you're going to pretty much hate it. But other characters are gaining, and a lot of it is just panic in general with no reason. So I'm going to explain it now. Now, the first big change is the change from percentage-based stats to flat values. Now, let me explain something. This does not mean that your values won't go up. They can still go up with masteries, they can still go up with synergies, they can still go up with buffs and debuffs. So let's make that clear now before people start panicking on that. Now, the main purpose of it is to prevent people from getting the easy 100% critical rate, the 100% armor. I mean, that's probably what ends up being a good thing, especially if you're fighting a character. So that's a good thing. But it's going to be a change, no question there. Now, also, there's also going to be there's also another change is that it's going to be ramped up slow. It's going to ramp up quickly. So let's say you have a level 1 character. Now, for the first bunch of levels, it's going to rank up quickly. Let's say critical rate will be, let's say, from a low number to a very high number. And then the higher the level, it will slow down, so you won't be gaining as much. As I said, the good thing about this is that people who don't have 550 characters will still have reasonable critical rate. They'll still have reasonable armor, etc., etc. Still have reasonable shielding. So that's, again, not necessarily a bad thing. It's more like evening the game out a little bit. For most people, that's going to be a good thing. For whales and people who are at the top of the game, that's going to be probably a little bit of a negative change, but not as bad as people are making it out. Now, the other thing is that they've added some new stats. They've added armor. Let me get this here. They've added armor penetration, block penetration. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It allows you to ignore a certain amount of armor and blocking when you attack. So that's a good thing. Critical resistance, which lessens the rate your opponent will get critical rate. So let's say someone has let's say 28 critical rate, which they don't, but let's say 28 critical rate. This will lower maybe to 20 critical rate or 18 or whatever. So the crits will be less likely to hit. Again, that's a defensive change, not necessarily a bad thing. Probably, in fact, some people will probably like it in AW and in harder story modes and all that. So that's probably a good thing. And the last one is a little unusual. It's called Challenger Rating. Now, Challenger Rating is basically the higher your level, higher rank, how rare your character is, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, the higher your critical rate, Challenger Rating will be. Now, when you fight someone with a lower Challenger Rating, your stats will go up. Will go up because of the Challenger Rating. Now, if your character has a lower Challenger Rating, your stats will go down somewhat. I mean, it's hard to say how much of an effect that's going to really have. I mean, in general, you have an advantage with a better character than with a lower character anyhow, but we'll see how that works. Whether it's like Prestige where it isn't particularly logical, or whether it's actually makes a lot of sense how they're doing it. So we'll see what happens with that. I wouldn't panic on that. It's hard to say how bad that is yet. But I expect it will hurt a little bit, but like I said, time will tell on that. Now, since I mentioned Scarlet Witch, here's the bad news for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. How do I put this? She's been hit over the head with a nerve bat multiple times. She is going to be hurt. Now, mind you, she's not going to be killed. She's not going to be Spider-Gwen level, even though Spider-Gwen won't be Spider-Gwen level after March either, but she won't be lowest tier. She'll probably be somewhere in the middle, maybe even a little higher than that. So I wouldn't worry. I mean, the big change is that her stun duration is going to go down a lot. She's going to reduce the regeneration, her weakness along stats. I mean, there's a less base chance to hit Veil of Fortune in general. I mean, all the stats are going down a little bit. I mean, some more than others, but it's going to be annoying. And if you have Scarlet Witch, you are being hurt badly. If you relied on Scarlet Witch, this is painful. Not death, what I said before, but painful. Having said that, though, Scarlet Witch was a really overpowered character. I mean, I guess it came down to that. The answer to any Contest of Champions question was Scarlet Witch. Who should I use for story mode? Scarlet Witch. Can I use a 3-star? Can I use 3 stars in story mode? Yes, 3-star Scarlet Witch. In Realm of Legends, well, not Realm of Legends, but in events, who would I use? Scarlet Witch. I mean, it became too powerful, where she became the only character that mattered. And the difference between a top player and a lesser player was often having Scarlet Witch. That won't be the case anymore. Most players will gain from it. Of course, people who have Scarlet Witch duped as a 4-star or 5-star, I mean, as a 4-star, so I know 5-star, they're going to be hurt pretty badly. But, oh well. Now, other characters are going to be gaining a lot. I mean, Abomination will be somewhat more useful since he'll be triggering Fury more. His base poison will go up, which will make him actually a semi-useful character. I mean, Ant-Man, his poison is going to be better. He'll trigger fatigue more. Again, a nice improvement. Let's go through a few other major ones. Let's go to Spider-Gwen, in fact, because that's she's become the running joke as by far the worst character in the game. She's been improved somewhat. I mean, I don't know if she's not a top-tier character no matter what you do. But the big thing is evasion chance on Special 1 is going to be now 25%. The duration is going to be 10 seconds. So it went from completely useless to, well, slightly less useless. It's not great, but I mean, most people would rather have an attack Special 1. But at least they're making that somewhat useful. I mean, the Special 1 will also grant a large boost critical hit chance, which will make a big difference. I mean, you can now choose whether you're in trap mode or hunter mode by just pressing back and holding block for a short amount of time. Basically the same way Nightcrawler changes modes. Crossbones can add power. It's pretty much, you've seen it before. It's probably much better mechanics since you could choose now. So that's going to be improved. Now, here's one that a lot of people are talking about. Winter Soldier. I mean, if he's not the worst character, he was pretty damn close to the worst character. He's been improved heavily. I'm not even talking about animations, which are nice, but do we really give a crap? But now you're going to get bleed automatically from the second special. You're going to have a new mechanic called let me get it here, called ammo stockpile, which will give you 2 types of armor. I mean, 2 types of bullets. The first one will be armor piercing, which is self-explanatory. It ignores all the opponent's armor ratings, so that will be very nice for a lot of players. And the second one is incendiary, which will allow you to set people on fire. It's a nice mechanic. It's going to help the character. Oh, and there is a third one, Hollow Point, which any bleed effect triggered during the attack has its duration increased by a certain amount of percent. I mean, again, nice. It will probably improve the character, maybe make him mid-tier character. I don't think he's going to be a top-tier character no matter what you do again. I mean, also improved his Punisher. Let me get Punisher here. His second special, again, is going to include bleed like Winter Soldiers. I mean, they're basically the same character, Winter Soldier and Punisher, with slight differences. The animations are exactly the same. So they're both being improved. I mean, there's going to be a few new abilities. Open Wound will be there. I mean, he's a better character. I mean, again, he's still pretty much a crappy character, but he's a better crappy character. He's less crappy, in other words. I mean, people will like him better, and that's all that matters, really. Now, finally, there was one other thing that was announced. You know how you sometimes see, let's say, an Armor Break 2 or Fury 5 or all that stuff? That's all gone. There's not going to be levels of any of the stuff anymore. Now you're going to get the top level of, if the synergy has armor, you're getting full. I mean, if the synergy has Fury, you're getting full Fury. If you're getting Armor Break, you're getting full Armor Break. There's not going to be differences anymore between the levels, which is a nice touch because that was a little annoying, hard to use. Now finally, and this is good news. I mean, you can read this up from the screen, but basically you're going to be getting a lot of crap because of these changes. Now the big one, especially if you've been playing for a while, is you're going to be getting a 4-star Awakening Gem, which I know a lot of people would like, including myself. I mean, you're going to be getting various other stuff like various crystals, signature stones. This is going to improve you a great deal. Now, the one thing you're going to be getting also is called rank down tickets, which is a new mechanic. Basically, let's say you have a 440 character, and that character has been nerfed pretty badly, Scarlet Witch. Now you have the option to move it down a level. In return, you get back its gold, you get back its ISO, you get back its catalyst. So basically, you can make changes on what characters. Basically, if you have a character you want to change that isn't as good as you expected, now you can make that change and put that stuff to a better character. So most people will like that. I mean, I know I could definitely use it in a few cases, Iron Patriot. But we all have characters that we really don't need to be the highest character anymore. So that's good. I mean, and really that's the main stuff. I mean, some of it's bad, some of it's good, some of it's indifferent, which is what you would expect. But all in all, we'll see what happens in March. I mean, some of the stuff that you're hearing right now is panic. I mean, that's to be expected anytime there's big changes. But we'll see what happens. I wouldn't worry yet. In March, you can panic all you want. But for now, let's wait. Now, this is Nightmare signing off.